Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a different kind of video today. I want to start a series where at the tail end of every update, I make a wish list of things I would like to see in future updates. Jug Wars, love it or hate it, did add a lot of stuff to the game that people have wanted. It gave us a ton of storage space for new vehicles. It gave us some vehicles that have been requested by the community, such as the Koenigsegg Jesco. It gave us a new business that does a fresher take on the motorcycle club businesses. And it gave us some missions that, well, love 'em or hate 'em, it was content. Look, I already made a video talking about how I felt about the Drug Wars missions. I think it was perfectly fine. It's not the best thing ever, but I did like it. So I'm going to do this at the tail end of every update. Like I said, we've gotten pretty much everything from this update. I've seen it, I know how I feel about it, and I want to make some suggestions for stuff Rockstar could do going forward. If you have any ideas, be sure to share them in the comments below, and let me know what you think of these ideas. If you think these are all good ideas, or that any of these could be done, then share it with the community, see what you guys think. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to bring up is more outfit compatibility. So like, let's be honest, every single one of us has tons of outfits that we would love to make but just can't for whatever reason, whether it's clothing items that should be able to go together but aren't compatible, meaning we would probably have to glitch it if we really wanted to combine them, or in this case where I want to put the long gloves on this blouse but I just can't. Like, why? There's no clipping. It looks completely fine and it actually looks like something someone would actually wear, but if I try to hold it on, the gloves just disappear. There's also tons of tops that should be able to go together. Like if I put on this item and I try to put on the plate carrier, it just doesn't work. Like it will not go together, which is ridiculous because in the Doomsday heist, these items were literally part of outfits in the missions. We can't buy those outfits either, which is just like ridiculous. It's an unnecessary restriction that just hurts customization. And it's not like Rockstar hasn't made changes like this either. Like in the Los Santos Summer Special, they made Gorka tops compatible with plate carriers, and it was a really good change. It allowed for more customization. But like for whatever reason, we still can't pair Gorka tops or combat tops with the different other armors, even though they are also compatible in other outfits. Basically, I just want Rockstar to start removing some of these unnecessary restrictions. Like, we've already seen what these items look like in mission only outfits. I feel like by not letting us make that, they're just restricting creativity. I mean, I've seen tons of modded outfits that look totally vanilla, and it's a shame that we're not just able to combine them normally. On the topic of customizations, another change I'd like to see is adding more paint colors. I'm just going to be 100% honest here. Some of the vanilla paint colors in this game that we can just buy, they kind of garbage. Like, they're kind of ugly. Like, for the most part, they're okay. Like, you get the colors you need, but there is literally a whole spectrum of colors that exist in the game in vehicles that just spawn around the world. This is why a lot of people glitch the colors onto cars. This is why they do the merge glitches. They just want some of the colors that exist on some of the vanilla vehicles. Problem is, they're not buyable. I would totally buy these colors if I could, but like all I can buy is these vanilla colors that have literally been in the game since day one. And a lot of these other colors have been in the game, but we've just never been able to buy them. So Rockstar, please just let us have more buyable paint colors. Let people express themselves more. So for this next one, I want to ask a question, right? Who here unironically uses the precision rifle? Well, I decided to try it for a bit. I decided to go on a police rampage and see how long it could last. This was my result. Barely 3 stars. Kind of pitiful. Now, comparing this to the marksman rifle, I wanted to see how long I could last with a marksman rifle with an ACOG slapped on it. Almost made it to 5 stars. So, basically, the marksman rifle, the Mark II version at least, is literally just a precision rifle, but better. And we got the marksman rifle all the way back in Last Team Standing, and we got the Mark II version of it back in Doomsday. So, like, what's the point of the precision rifle? You know, when I first heard about it, I was excited because I thought, oh, geez, we're finally getting a new sniper. We haven't gotten a new sniper rifle in this game since, like, ever. I was also really disappointed when I found out the precision rifle had nothing. No upgrades, no Mark II variant, no stats worth writing home about, nothing. It's just, it is useless in every sense of the word. Like, the marksman rifle, at least the Mark II version, is just an upgrade in every single way. It fires faster, it has more ammo in the magazine, it has an extended magazine, it has a zoom scope it can have, or a red dot if you want to, like, lock onto targets. The precision rifle has nothing, not even a suppressor. So basically, I would just either A, buff it so it's like nearly a one tap, but not quite, kind of like the musket or something, or B, slap on a suppressor and a scope so it at least has some customization. So it's basically a new bolt action sniper, or C, give it a Mark II variant with all of the above. I would understand though if they didn't put explosive rounds on this because that would probably be overpowered considering we already have the heavy sniper with explosive rounds. But I'm no expert when it comes to balance. I'm not like Gilly Master in that regard, but like it's just such a shame this weapon had nothing to it. I really like the overall design of it. I really, really hope Rockstar does something better with this in the future. Who knows? Maybe in the next update we'll get like a Mark II version or something, because As it is right now, bare bones doesn't even begin to describe it. It's just awful to use. On the topic of weapons that should be rebalanced, let's bring up a weapon that you guys have probably forgotten about. So this will probably sound a bit crazy or pointless, but I would essentially like to see a buff to the tear gas throwable. There are two things I would do. A, increase the radius so tear gas does damage across a wider area. Just basically increase the size of the cloud. B, make it so that any rebreather or certain gas masks can protect you from taking damage from it. So before I mention the last one, I'd like to make a special mention, and that is more free mode events. Just random things that'll spawn in free mode that give the game that sort of spark of life that it hasn't had in years. Now, this is just one example. This is me following the smuggler plane that Rockstar have spawned in various spots in free mode. You follow the plane, you pick up a briefcase that was on the plane loaded with cash. It's fun, it's interesting, it gives a little more life to the world because you feel like there's a lot more stuff happening in the underground. So, like, it's fun, it's interesting. And if you happen to be a new player, this is a good way to get some extra spending cash. It's not my favorite one by any means. There's also the store robberies that you can stop and either take the cash or return it for a bonus. You can find drug dealers to sell various stuff to rather than doing a mission. You can find stash houses loaded with supplies. You can find spots that Gerald has left for you with snacks and armor. There's all sorts of different things that just give the game a little spark of life it needs, where it feels more like an open world. And the reason this is a special mention is because we've been getting this for a while now, I think since Criminal Enterprises, correct me if I'm wrong. So I feel like whatever update we get next will probably have this anyway. And if that's true, then I'm all for it. And here we go. Now this one, I'm just gonna preface this with they would probably have to make this suggestion a next gen only thing just because of how laggy this has made the old gen versions of the game. But basically, I would just like to see more interiors be used in free roam. So, in regular free mode, we now have Simeon's dealership, which adds a really, really good spark of life to the game. It adds stuff that we can do in an interior that just feels more alive. It makes the game feel more like an open world. And it's not the only one they could do it with either. Like, imagine if they spawned a bunch of NPCs inside of Pack Standard Bank and just made it so NPCs go in and out, doing their stuff. Maybe put tellers behind the counter. They'd probably have to do what they did with Simeon's dealership and, like, you know, make it so that people can't be griefed inside of it. But it would still be a really cool thing to do, and I think it would be well worth the effort. There's also similar interiors scattered around the map, such as that of Blaine County Savings Bank. This is one that never gets used in online, like ever, even though the interior itself is already rendered in online. Like, I could play this, I could go in here, but I have to use a modded job to do it. This is one I got from Sean, and it's like, it's really, really cool to see that Rockstar put a lot of effort into this interior, but like, it's never used in online for anything. I think what Rockstar could do is clean this area up back here and put some NPCs in the front and again make it so people can't be griefed in here. But basically just bring some life to it. Put it in free mode with some NPCs in it just to make the open world feel more, well, open. Another random example I can think of off the top of my head is the O'Neill house. It's already used in a ton of missions. it's not unoptimized, at least not enough to really wear down free mode sessions. So just have it open in free mode. Put some O'Neill NPCs around it so if we try to go near it, they get hostile. I just want to be able to explore some of these other areas in free mode because I like some of these areas are already used in missions where we meet other characters, such as the liquor store here. Ace Liquor Store is already part of several missions, and we already end up going here when meeting characters, like recently with the Dax stuff. So having this open would just allow for more exploration and make the world feel more open. I find it kind of crazy that we're just not allowed in these areas even though they are fully rendered. I don't know if you guys remember the PS3 days, but you used to be able to break your way into these interiors. You did a glitch to get into these areas, and they were, in fact, fully rendered. The Ace Liquor Store you could just climb into through a window. You could get into the Mission Row police station using a job invite. You could get into Lester's warehouse. You could get into Michael's house. And again, all of these areas were fully rendered in free mode. There is absolutely no problem running it even back on the PS3. So I find it wild that on the PS4 versions, let alone the PS5 versions and the Xbox Series, we still can't just, walk into some of these interiors. Like, what about the police station? I know we're criminals and all, but these cops don't know that. I find it crazy that none of these interiors just are open at all. Even though some of these are supposedly public spaces, but that's basically what I want. Just more interiors to be like enterable and explorable. But that's about it. I want to know what you guys think this game could also do with. Just leave it below in the comments what you guys would like to see in a future update. That's it for now. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out.